Hi, I'm here to talk about Jinu from K-pop Demon Hunters, who is one of the most prominent characters in the film. I feel like he's one of the four um, characters that gets the most focus, along with the three members of Huntrix. And I think that Jinu is a really interesting character with more humanity and nuance than I was expecting. I think when he first popped up, I was expecting a smug villain, but there's a lot to Jinu, and he's a character with a lot of tragedy to him, a very interesting backstory. But he's also able to have a very charismatic way of going about things, and he has a lot of awkward moments that are a lot of fun. So he really works well. He has a real charm to the way he looks and acts, and I think that he and Rumi have a lot of great interactions, and Rumi does seem interested in him right away. But I like that Rumi really sees a lot more in Gino than a good looking guy. She feels like she can relate to him, and he, I think, can relate to her. So there's some very emotionally moving stuff of two people that have gone through very difficult things and have hidden so much, and there's a lot of nuance and I think interesting stuff between the two of them. And Rumi and Gino's chemistry does feel very real. It doesn't feel forced, and they're given a lot of time together, so it doesn't feel that rushed to me. Um, and it ended up not being a bad romance storyline, which I was worried about. And after having seen the film a lot, I feel like there's hints at a romance, but I don't think their relationship is necessarily romantic. I feel like it's hard to put a label on the connection that they have, which I think is really interesting. Where it's clear they very much care about each other, but I don't know if it's quite on a romantic level. Like, I suspect that it is to a certain degree, but I also don't feel 100% sure about that. And considering what ends up happening to Gino, it's hard to fully know. It would be interesting if a sequel confirmed whether or not Rumi had romantic feelings for Gino and how she feels about things now. I think that could be interesting, and I wish that Gino was able to stick around so things could get more resolved. I think there could be a lot of fun stuff to be able to do. Um, but as a character who I assume is just for one story, I think Gino served his role very well. He's a really good, interesting character in the film. Uh, with a very tragic backstory involving his mother and his sister. I don't think his father was ever brought up. I'm assuming that the father died, but I don't know that for sure. Um, but I do think that the family stuff is really interesting, and it feels like there's a lot of scenes where Gino feels so bad about how things ended up with his family, and I feel like that has a really strong impact, the guilt that he feels. And I like him working hard to make things better. At first, trying to go about things in a bad way, just trying to make the memories go away. But I like Rumi's idea of helping Ginu reform. I think there's a lot of emotional nuance and profound beauty to it. I do think that Gino had some potential left unexplored, but for what he got to do, I think it works incredibly well.